what I do, I have this app that I use with my iPad called Doceri, and its whole purpose, the whole reason I use it, well, let me back up. When I first got the iPad, I was trying to decide, is this just something I'm going to use because it's cool, or is it something I can use that actually helps learning, benefits learning in the classroom? And, you know, a lot of it, I think, comes back to that comment. Well, it's cool, but there's really not, what are we doing with it, you know? So this is an app that I found extremely useful that I use almost every day in the classroom. The way it works, it's not a huge application that does crazy things. It's basically just an electronic whiteboard. So in my classroom, what you're looking at right now is my laptop. So in my classroom, I use my laptop as my lectern device. So it's just up there on the screens projecting, just like we would any other time. I would, you know, maybe in the morning I'd launch a PowerPoint, let's say, like this one. And we're going to discuss this. This is a map of our campus. And I may have an opportunity for students to, let's say we want to talk about the best way to get around campus. And I could walk up to the whiteboard and I could, you know, point or do something like that. But what the Doceri app does is it links the iPad to the computer through the Wi-Fi. So I'll show you how it actually links at the end because I'm a little concerned about my connection over here. But right now, what I see on this is what you see there. So any change that happens there happens here. And it gives me the ability to turn on, sure it does, to turn on a pen, and now I can draw on the screen. Which isn't that big of a deal, but it's actually a huge deal once you start using it. So I can stand back, I'm going to clear the screen. I can stand back and say, well, you know, we're here right now, and I want to get to B building. So the best way to go about that may be to go down here and around to this end, or we may want to go through the grass and around this way. You may want to walk that way, something like that. And then I'll say to a student, well, what do you think? And then I'll hand it to a student like Carl. And Carl, being one of my experienced students, will already know that little, see the arrow that points to the right? See that? Click that arrow that points to the right. Okay, so go ahead, Carl. What do you think is the best way to get from...
Here, I might take the scenic route.
Across the grassy knoll.
Or the bath first.
There we go, yeah.
So, something like that.
Exactly, something like that. And Holly thinks she might have a better way. So let's do this.
So it was that. Okay, yeah.
So let's see. Holly wants to draw on this, but she's going to draw with a different color. So see Doceri over there on the left in the middle? Poke it. Now, you're drawing with the eraser end of the pencil, which is different. There we go. So this is kind of the benefit of this. Now, you see the red marker at the top? Hold it down. Push on it and hold. Let go. Now, you see the colors? Pick a color. And then click somewhere on the screen. And my students do this once and then they know. They know how to do it. Now,
but this is not showing what she's seeing now.
Yeah, it doesn't show all the menus and everything like that. It's just, it's in presentation mode.
Wait,
so she can draw. Oh, wait, she just screwed up. Use the eraser. Use the eraser and you can erase.
Is that a Doceri pen?
It is. Yeah. So you can erase. Just, I mean, it's completely intuitive.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it makes, there's just nothing to learn.
You know, it's so fun. Oh my God.
Now, remember a minute ago when I drew on the screen and then I wiped it off? You see the arrow in the upper left corner that points to the left, the one that points off, look at the left. Your other left, there you go.
This one?
That one. See the arrow that points off, click it. Now, see, that was the one I drew. They're still in there, they're just multiple layers. Everything is still in there. You can click.
So that was Dan's idea. Where's mine?
Okay, now click to the right. Now you got to go to the right to see it's in progression. Okay, now you click the wrong arrow. You click the down arrow. There we go. Click the left and right arrow.
Well, when you say left and right, there's one on the left and
Yep. Now you see the arrows. Okay, let's put you back in marker mode. Push that. Now you see the arrows that go to the left and the right? Those arrows, yeah.
These arrows.
Now, because I have it in a certain mode where it erases it when I turn it off, we've lost it. I didn't record it. But this can save the file. It can also make an actual lifetime recording just by hitting the little record button that you can't see. You hit record, all of this is recorded, audio is recorded. You can go back and edit it. You can do whatever you want to do. Right?
So I'm just an extension. So Holly could be teaching anatomy and physiology.
No, I teach that.
I know.
Something.
Something.
Nursing.
And without you needing to use paper or anything, you just verbally say, where's your ulna, right?
And hand that to a student.
Hand it to a student, you gotta hold.
Let them do it. Once we start using this, the students just pass it back and forth. Alex says, dude, you're wrong. And we'll give it to Alex. Yeah. So let's try, I'll show you something we actually do here. On the actual display, I also have control over, in this case I'm using PowerPoint, so I've got an arrow to advance to the next slide. Now I'm on the next slide. This is one we just did the other day. So this is what we call an evaporative emission system, however you want to say it. But this is a gas tank and the engine and some different things, and we were talking about how vapors flow through here, and I had two students in an argument yesterday about this, and neither one of them were right, which was hilarious. But they were talking about the direction of flow of vapors. And
Seems like that would be
this
an
is-
important thing to know.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's super complicated. It's stupid complicated. But, we can even do things like, well, it's that point right there. There's arrows in there or whatever, you can highlight something. Of course, the longer I push it, the more it highlights. Again, it's not rocket science, but it is. And then the student says, no, dude, you're wrong. They flip over, and then another student draws on. He's like, no, I told you I was right. See? They can flip back and forth. Mm-hmm. Where it's tremendously beneficial is when we're analyzing like a wiring diagram.
Oh, yeah.
And we're talking about, I'll give them an assignment, and it'll say, I'll give them this diagram, they'll take it home, and one of the questions will be, the left-hand low beam does not work, all the other headlights work normally, and then they have colored pencils. Draw in blue where the fault would be. Then when they come to class the next day, who's got blue? And I hand this to them, they switch over, turn on the blue pencil, blue, bang, and they'll
But
say,
they
well,
called them.
the problem is here. What was that?
You said draw in blue, so now everybody is drawn.
So they do it on paper as homework. Then they come in here, and then the students, whether I choose a student or however we do it, it gives them the opportunity to share. Instead of projecting this on a whiteboard and then they come up with a marker and do it, what's wonderful about this is when a student says, no, that's wrong, and then they'll go in and then they'll say, no, it has to be the problem up here. And then you can compare and flip back and forth, right? And see what the students will see what they do. If nothing else, whenever I'm in the class, I always have this running so that, if I'm talking about the contamination on this airflow sensor, they're like, I don't see the contamination. I can say, what do you mean? It's right there. That's contamination. Those are filter particles right there. And then I'll say, oh, that's in my way. This is the cold wire. This is the hot wire. It's really effective, and then I can hand it to a student, and they can have at it. And it doesn't have to be inside of a PowerPoint. Let me turn my marker off. It's just an overlay. So I can be, let me get out of this PowerPoint. I can be, doing anything. Not only can I draw on it, but I can control it.
So you could flip over to the internet and you could find a photograph on the internet and do this as well.
Sure,
Yeah.
right there. I'm drawing on anything I want to draw on. It's just a screen overlay, and if I turn that off, now I'll turn the marker off. Now I have control. I can click through different websites. I can open up my email down there. I just open my email. It works like a mouse as well. I can double click, I can do anything. So it does both things depending on if I'm in drawing
Look
mode.
at all those emails you haven't opened.
What emails? I don't see any emails. I'm gonna go ahead.
So, is it an app or is it
It is an app. It's a free app
Okay.
However, it has to be able to link to your desktop. So there's an application on the desktop, and then there's an application on the iPad. So this is free, this is $30.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And then the pen,
And our
which
school's
is,
happy to pay for that.
they had no problem with it, but they had to do it. I can't do it. And then the pen is $39. But the pen is on, you can use your finger. I mean, you don't need the pen. I can select, anything I want with my finger, but the pen has the eraser on it. And that is incredible.
And
the
no
eraser.
oil from your fingertips.
Well, also,
Screen you keep.
right, and also when you plug this in, it turns on palm rejection. So right now, without the pen plugged in, if I lay my hand on here,
Yeah.
see, I'm messing with things,
Yeah.
right? But if I plug this in, it ignores all that.
Good.
And it just looks at the pen.
That's worth a lot.
So it is worth a lot. And the eraser. So before I used this, when I had a traditional stylus, the student would be down here like this and then be flipping screens.
Yeah.
With this, it doesn't matter. The way and I'll show you real quick the way I connect these two devices up. And then I need it. And so
No match?
there is a connection.
Yeah, it's not an app.
Dashboard.
It's a-
So there is an app you download from the store, and then you have to install an application there. So I'm going to disconnect. What's the easiest way to disconnect? Probably through this. Okay, I'm going to disconnect. So this is the way you connect. The Doceri, when you turn your computer on, throws this QR up there, and then all you got to do is turn on the camera on your device, aim it at the screen, and bang, it makes the connection.
Did you use a camera or a camera?
Yeah, well, no, it has its own,
Camera on
I'll
the
show you.
Doceri,
So
okay.
when it's like this, there's a little camera
Oh, gotcha.
button. You push the camera button, turns the camera on. As soon as it sees that QR code, like that, bang, it makes the connection. You don't have to type in any IP addresses or anything. So I just hold this every day when I turn my computer on, and then I turn this on, I poke Doceri, I hold that up at the screen, it makes the connection, and it just works. So now I'm in mode where I can just draw on the screen, or if I take the pen off, turn the pen mode off, I have control just like I'm using a mouse. And I could be, I could be in my building right now doing this, it doesn't matter. So I'll go out in the lab, we have a big screen out in the lab, and I'll connect this up to the big screen. This is in my classroom, and they see this. So then I can like make a drawing out in the lab. I can say, my finger on there, I can say, this part's the problem. And then when we go back in the classroom, that's what's on the screen. They saw the drawing that we just did on the screen. So it transitions right from the lab to the classroom. Anyway, it's a pretty useful app. I use it every single day.
So you have it linked to a laptop because you don't have a desktop video?
I use
Or-
my laptop as my everything.
Oh, okay.
That's my everything. So this travels from my desk.
So you
to the
take your
classroom.
laptop into the classroom
I do.
and plug it in?
Right, but that could be installed on the
On a
lectern computer.
lectern.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that would be better, I think.
For you, it would be,
Yeah, 'cause
yeah.
I don't have a laptop here.
Right. No, but this, yeah, for me, that's my only computer because, they'll come in and screw up the lectern every 6 months with some update or something,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So with the laptop, that doesn't happen. I have control over that, so. Anyway, but it's a simple app, but it has, in a lot of ways, really transformed what I do. When it comes to wiring diagrams, this wiring diagrams has always been a challenge to have students to have a great discussion over it. With this, it's solved.
Kind of reminds me of John Madden's football when he introduced this.
Yeah, they're drawing, yeah, exactly. But this works. A lot of the stuff doesn't work, and this works really well. Okay.
Does more than one person use it on more than one iPad at the same time?
That, I don't think so. That is something I want to try, but in theory, I don't think so. Yeah. That would be interesting to have a classroom full of people that have the ability to draw.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
that
not
would be a
sure.
classroom management thing. It would be just too much because we
Yeah.
tried that in Kate's and everybody was just
drawing all over the place.
Yeah, people start making
Yeah.
smiley faces and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Well,
And
but
then
if
you don't know who to accuse.
If you're doing a team, if there's like
Sign
say 4 laptops out,
No.
4 iPads out there, and you're working on something all together.
And if I could turn on and turn off, like who has the ability to draw, like using, because that's
You can't
similar.
just do that with your voice.
Yeah, you go.
You stop.
Right now. Yeah, there is some other interesting ideas that I've had, and I don't know. I only have this. This is the only iPad we have, so I haven't been able to try other things. But fortunately, loading Doceri on the iPad is free. That's not the issue. The issue is over on this end. And it's a free trial. You can download a free trial. It's all free. You can make it work, except it'll have a little Doceri icon in the corner when you're using it if you have the free version. But you can go home and try it. It works great. My Wi-Fi at home is just bam, it just comes right on.